Republicans want to replace the mortgage industry with a Wall Street bailout machine that would recreate the 2008 crisis with bigger trillions. What could go wrong? Last week, Trump floated privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, two largely government-owned companies that buy and guarantee two-thirds of the mortgages in America. Trump wants to sell these off to investors, which sounds good at first blush. Taxpayers should not be owning mortgages. But the problem is they would be privatized with the taxpayer bailout guarantees. As the Wall Street Journal put it, this is, quote, unchaining the monsters to expand risk at taxpayer expense, adding, quote, Americans have seen this horror movie before and it did not end well. Now, privatization with guarantees would be a $355 billion gift to shareholders, but they need the guarantees because otherwise Fannie and Freddie are worth less than a Blockbuster gift card. So how did the federal government put taxpayers on the hook for two-thirds of mortgages? It started in 1938 when FDR created Fannie Mae to bail out banks' mortgage books. Freddie was added in 1970 to bail out savings and loan mortgage books. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Both were privatized in the 80s and managed to keep their nose clean for about a decade, sticking with high-quality prime mortgages with full documentation and decent credit. But in the early 2000s, they did what anybody with a taxpayer bailout does. They went crazy on the risk. Now, it's an iron law of finance that more risk equals more profit. You can charge more for a risky loan. And it's free money when the taxpayers are eating the loss. So Fannie and Freddie jumped into subprime mortgages with both feet, lending to people with no jobs, no income, no documents. Since subprime's risky, they could charge more. By the eve of the crisis, Fannie and Freddie accounted for nearly half of all mortgages in the country. Most were bundled into so-called mortgage-backed securities, where you toss a bunch of loans into a single bond and sell it to insurance companies or pension funds. It's a great way to launder crappy loans. You've made sausages with no-doc loans, and now grandma's pension is on the hook, so you're guaranteed a government bailout. When the crash came, Fannie and Freddie cashed in on a $191 billion bailout. Today, that's between $300 and $400 billion. So obviously, let's do it again. So as next brought to you by I Trust Capital, the federal government should be out of the mortgage business, but without government guarantees and standing bailouts. The wider problem is our entire financial system survives only because of federal bailouts. From Wall Street bankers with the Fed and Treasury on speed dial to the Fannie and Freddie holding mortgages hostage. We should be doing what we can to untangle these bailouts, not bake them in with $355 billion investor handouts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.